Also want to ask you, Senator, about this ongoing controversy with Kevin Rudd's ambassadorship. We saw Donald Trump came out overnight with some lines about not forgetting, and we also saw the opposition leader wind up a press conference rather extraordinarily when asked about her position on it. But tell us your thoughts on Kevin Rudd and his future as ambassador.
Well, James, firstly, let me say that it was an important moment for Team Australia in the national interest. The meeting between the Prime Minister and President Trump did go well. There was a very important announcement made about critical minerals. Of course, AUKUS was also confirmed after the administration's review, but we did not get any good news on the crippling tariffs on steel and aluminium, and that was pretty disappointing. But I have to say, James, it goes to the Prime Minister's judgment that Kevin Rudd was appointed as ambassador in the first place because it was well known what he said. He made some terrible comments about the President, and the President, as he's made very clear, has not forgotten, will not forget. But I do have a bit of an exclusive piece of news for you, because I have been told on very reliable sources that Richard Marles, the Minister of Defence, and the Deputy Prime Minister met with the Minister for Trade, Don Farrell, last November, of course, when the President won the election, and discussed replacing Kevin Rudd as ambassador. And their preferred candidate was Stephen Conroy. Now, of course, Mr Marles, Minister Farrell and Stephen Conroy all sit very much on the right of the Labor Party. They obviously had some concerns, but I think we need to know more about this meeting. I'm not sure whether it happened in person or by phone, but I was certainly told on very reliable sources, I should say, that they were very concerned and they discussed replacing Kevin Rudd.
Rita.
Well, what power does Kevin Rudd wield that they would keep him in that role, knowing what he has said about the President and the obstacle he poses to having the best sort of relationship you can have with our biggest ally? What power does Kevin Rudd have over the Prime Minister? And even when he did this deal, which was something to be applauded, the conversation has been all about Kevin Rudd. Surely Anthony Albanese isn't happy about that. No one's talking about Anthony Albanese. It's all about Kevin Rudd.
Well, I think, Rita, it goes back to the Prime Minister's judgment. I don't think he should have put Kevin Rudd in that position in the first place, given the scathing things that he said about President Trump. I mean, that's just an untenable situation. It was always going to boil to the surface. In fact, I raised these questions directly with Minister Farrell in Senate estimates about whether the relationship had improved. We knew it was, of course, what Kevin Rudd said, but it really, as I say, does go to the Prime Minister's judgment. Perhaps, Rita, he wanted to get Kevin Rudd out of Australia so he wouldn't be meddling in domestic politics.
Yes.
So maybe the Prime Minister, Albanese, thought that that was a good idea. But I think now we do need to know exactly what discussions were had last November about this discussion, about this proposal to replace Kevin Rudd. But certainly this has not gone well for Australia. And now, of course, we've heard the President is questioning the appointment and making it very clear that when America appoint an ambassador to Australia, they will consult and it will be someone that our Prime Minister likes. So that's a pretty strong hint.